second part of our lesson, Unit 1, Period number 4. In this video, we are going to make two skills of reading. We are going to focus on the skill of reading. So at first, we are going to do what's called skimming, which means that we have to look generally at the text to understand the general idea. Then we are going to do scanning, in which we are going to understand the text in details. We have an exercise number 2, which says look at the picture in the passage and do the tasks. Let's read the tasks. Number 1, describe what you can see. Number 2, from what you know, say where this may be and who the man may be. And number 3, say what you think the woman is going to do. Let's get back to the picture. Well, look carefully at the picture. What can you see? Who is this man? Who is this woman? Where are they? So now you can check the information that I have given to you. Yes, the woman is talking to a man in the entrance of a large organization. Entrance بمعنى مدخل. And the man may be Dr. Maqdisi. Dr. Maqdisi, this is the name of the family for Basim's father. And the woman may be Jinan Rashidi. Jinan is probably going to interview him about his work. Well, continuing with the skimming skills, let's look at exercise number 3, page number 8. Read and do the tasks. Number 1, read paragraph 1 of the passage. Check your answers to activity 2. And number 2, read the rest of the passage and answer these questions. So at first we have to answer paragraph to check our answers for exercise 2. Then we have to read the whole passage in order to answer the two questions, A and B. What does the Farm Research Center do? Farm Research Center. What does it mean? Farm Research Center. مركز البحث الزراعي. So we are going to try to find the aim of this center. الهدف من هذا المركز. B. What important question does the report ask? التقرير نفسه إذا درسنا عبارة عن report. الباسج تبعتنا عبارة عن report. We are going to try to find what is the question that the report asks. Well, let's read the topic of the report. The report's title is How Will We Feed the World in 2050? How will we feed the world in 2050? I guess that this year is in the future. So the writer, Jinan Rashidi, is questioning, she's asking, she's wondering about how will the world will be fed. كيف سيتم تقديم الغذاء للعالم في المستقبل. Let's start with reading the first paragraph. Today I have an appointment with Dr. Adnan Maqdisi, Director of the Jericho Farm Research Center. I'm going to interview him about his work. So I guess from this paragraph, we are now sure that this man is Adnan Maqdisi, Basim's father. And this man is the director of the Jericho Farm Research Center, هو مركز البحث الزراعي في أريحة. And of course, now we are sure that this woman, Jinan Rashidi, wants to interview this man, Dr. Adnan Maqdisi, about their work at the center. Now let's read the whole passage in order to find the aim of the center and what is the question of the report. I drive past fields of fruit and vegetables to reach the center. There, Dr. Maqdisi welcomes me and immediately says, first, I'm going to show you around. Let's go. So as you can see, this is a quotation. يعني هذا اقتباس. هذا ما قيل بواسطة دكتور مقديسي. هذا ما قاله for Jinan Rashidi. Well, I can see this is going to be a busy day. So this is another quotation, but it is said by Jinan herself. Soon, we are in a large science lab. Lab, it means laboratory, معمل. And I see scientists in white coats hard at work. Then, we pass through a warehouse and I notice various farm products. And this is a dash for giving details. What are the products? Onions, tomatoes, bananas, figs, lemons, oranges, beans, and carrots. Next, so as we can see, there are steps. There are steps in here or before she made the interview. Next, we visit the fields. Let's stop and I'll show you something, he suddenly says. We're experimenting with different kinds of tomato here. We are experimenting with different kinds of tomato here. We are developing new kinds that will grow well in hot, dry conditions. طقوس, ظروف, حارة, وجافة. When we pick them, we are going to test them in different ways. We are going to weigh them and check for quality and also for diseases. Quality بمعنى الجودة. Later, in his office, I asked Dr. Maqdisi why they are doing all this. So this is the interview. هنا تمت المقابلة بينهم. He points to a human population chart on the wall. Look carefully in your book. You will see that there is the chart that she's talking about. This is the chart of the world population or the human population. تعداد السكان. يعني هي خارطة أو مخطط يوضح تعداد السكاني أو النمو السكاني في العالم. Look, he says in 1900 there were 1.5 billion people. But then the world went mad. Now there are over 7 billion, and by 2050 we predict that there will be over 9 billion mouths to feed every day. And he goes on, معناه استمر في حديثه. Earth's climate is changing. We're certain now that many regions will become too dry for traditional crops. We'll have to produce more food with less good farmland. Now I understand. So you are developing new crops to help farmers produce in harder conditions and produce more. Are you succeeding? Yes, Dr. Maqdisi says, we are having some important successes. If you like, I'll take you for lunch in our canteen and you can taste a few. So now as you can see, question A, what does the Farm Research Center do? So what is the aim? What is the main objective? الهدف الأساسي for this center is to develop new crops for harder conditions. Develop new crops for harder conditions. تطوير أنواع جديدة من المحاصيل. طبعا for harder conditions. What are the harder conditions? إيش هي الظروف الأصعب المتوقعة؟ طبعا we have mentioned them. They are the hot, dry conditions اللي هي ظروف الطقس الحارة والجافة واللي تمثل طبعا صعوبة أو طبعا هاي الأجواء صعبة لنمو المحاصيل traditional زي ما ذكرها التقرير. Question B, what important question does the report ask? طبعا at the end of the report she asked an important question. It asks, إذا the report asks, it asks if they are succeeding. If they are succeeding in what? هل هم بينجحوا في إيش? In developing new crops for harder conditions. In exercise number 4, page number 8. Read and answer the questions. Number 1, why does Jinan write, I can see this is going to be a busy day? She said that. Why do you think she said that?
Number 2. What is happening to the world's population? تعداد السكاني في العالم. What is happening to it? إيش التغيير اللي بيصير؟ Number 3. What is happening to the world's farmland? الأراضي الزراعية في العالم. إيش التغيير اللي طرأ عليها؟ Number 4. What does the center therefore have to do? بناء على إجابتك لنمبر 3 أكيد هيكون السنتر إله مهمة لتجنب أو لتفادي المشكلة الناجمة عن النقطتين 2 and 3. Number 5. How will Jinan find out about the center's successes? كيف تتأكد من نجاح السنتر في هدفه؟ Now, the answer for number 1. She said that I can see this is going to be a busy day because Dr. Maqdisi starts to show her round immediately. يعني هي بمجرد ما وصلت إلى السنتر immediately مباشرة he started to show her round. بدأ إنه هو يريها اللي هي المناطق داخل السنتر. ف she said it's gonna be a busy day. فهذا أعطاها شعور إنه it must happen, something must happen. شيء لابد إنه يحصل بناء على الكلو هذا اللي هو it's going to be a busy day. Number 2. What's happening to the world's population? It's going up very fast. بمعنى إنه تعداد السكاني يزداد بشكل سريع. ممكن نذكر الإجابة بطريقة أخرى. It is rising fast or it's increasing rapidly. تزداد زيادة كبيرة. What's happening to the world's farmland? الأراضي الزراعية. The farmland is getting drier. بمعنى الأراضي الزراعية تزداد جفافا. Number 4. What does the center therefore have to do? Of course it has to develop new crops that will produce more in harder conditions. هذه أهم نقطة في الموضوع. It has to develop new crops. إذا المركز يسعى لتطوير محاصيل جديدة. هاي المحاصيل لابد أنها تكون قادرة على الإنتاج أو أنه يتم إنتاجها أو أنها تنمو في ظروف طبعا صعبة أو أصعب مما هو عليه الآن. وهي الظروف الصعبة طبعا اللي ذكرناها اللي هو drier or dry hot conditions اللي هي ظروف اللي هو البيئية الحارة والجافة طبعا in the future in 2050. So now number 5. How will Jinan find out about the center's successes? She can eat or taste some of the new crops at lunch from the canteen. Moving to number 5, as you can see, these are notes, the notes of Jinan Rashidi. Read quickly to summarize her visit to the Farm Research Center. The place she went to is the Jericho Farm Research Center, which is near Jericho. The appointment with Dr. Adnan Maqdisi. The job is a director. He is the director of the Farm Research Center. The places visited. At first they visited the laboratory, and number 2 they visited the fields, and finally they visited the canteen. So according to the question we have only to mention 3 places. Of course in answering this part of the notes you don't have to stick to all the places. يعني مش شرط ان تذكري كل الاماكن. هنا طلب منك فقط 3 اماكن ومش شرط برضو كمان ترتيبهم. لكن لو رجعتي للنص تلاقي البداية كانت fields then a science lab. هيكون عندك كمان his office وفي warehouse وفي كمان at the end the canteen. So I guess there are 5 places. Now the crops grown. Number 1 the fruits. There are bananas, figs, lemons and oranges, and the vegetables onions, tomatoes, beans and carrots. Well, the exact research aim هدف الأساسي اللي بنرجع بنأكده كمان مرة developing new crops to produce more in harder conditions. Page number 10. There are 2 exercises that we still have to answer. Exercise number 3. Read the passage again and do the tasks. The first one, or as you can see, we have 2 parts. In the first part, we have to say what the underlined phrases refer to. I asked Dr. Maqdisi why they are doing all this. All this refers to trying to develop new crops. So at the center they are trying to develop new crops. Number 2 from lines 42 to 43, and you can taste a few of what? Of course, a few crops, which is mentioned in the previous sentence before this one. Now, in the second part of this exercise, we have to say what the underlined expressions mean. بمعنى بإمكانك أنت تعبر وتعيدي صياغة الكلمة العبارة المخطوطة بأسلوبك أنت. But then the world went mad.
So the world went mad. This is an expression that you can use for giving the meaning. People started behaving in a dangerous way. بمعنى الناس بدأوا يتصرفوا بطريقة خطيرة، يعني زيادة في التكاثر وزيادة في التعداد السكاني. ممكن تعيدي صياغتها بأسلوبك وتقولي for example the number of the population is increasing rapidly or in an unexpected way, for example. Now number 2, 9 billion mouths to feed every day. Of course, mouths to feed, we can say that it means people who all need food. Well, let's move now to exercise number 4. Look at the chart in the passage and do the tasks. Now, we are given in number 1 a question which is asking us about the idea of the chart. What does it show? So let's get back to see the chart to make sure of what we have. It's about the world population. توضح تعداد السكاني وزيادته والتغيير اللي فيه. Well, so how could we answer the first question? إذا it shows. So yeah, we can answer it this way. It shows how the population of the world has increased up to now. This is an expression, this is an answer. You can say that it shows the increasing in the number of, or it shows the increasing of population in the world from the past up to the future, and so on. Number 2, what the world population was at these dates. So in 1800, for example, as you can see here, we have millions of people, and these are, for example, here you can see 2,000 million of people, but يعني an approximate number كرقم تقريبي we can give the answers. طبعا درست هذا الكلام في الرياضيات، بإمكانك أنك تسقطي عمود موازي لمحور الإصابات، وكذلك خط أفقي موازي لمحور السينات، وبالتالي تقدري أنت تحددي كرقم تقريبي للمعلومات المطلوبة. So as you can see, in 1800 just under 1 billion, in 1850 just under 1.5 billion, 1900 1.5 billion, in 1950 2.5 billion, in 2000 over 6 billion. Moving to the third part, here we have the opposite. We are given the population and we have to find the year. So it was 2018 when it was 7.5 billion, and it's gonna be 8 billion in 2022. It's gonna increase up to 8.5 billion in 2032, and by reaching 2042 it is approximately gonna be 9 billion. By this we have finished our lesson. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, just write in the comments and I'm ready for answering them. Bye for now.